as a little girl, I always had a dream of being a mom and being a mom to lots and lots of babies. If you would have asked me when I was younger what I wanted to be when I grew up, I pretty much always would have answered, I want to be a mom. It's always been, you know, the dream job for me is what I wanted. And, you know, I didn't necessarily know what path I was going to take, or, you know, what plans God had for my life. And now that I'm truly living out what my dream was as a little girl, it's pretty crazy because, you know, sometimes you say things but you don't actually know where you're going to end up. And if you would have told me 15 years ago that I would be a stay-home mom to a little girl and 6 boys, I don't know if I necessarily would have even have believed you, because it's still crazy to me to think that I have all of these little blessings and that I get to be a stay-home mom. And every day looks a little different as a stay-home mom because I really do get to plan my own schedule as long as I have my kids with me. My sisters and I talk about this a lot because we're all stay-home moms, and, you know, our only real job and thing that we have to do is care for our children. And so as long as they're with us, we can pretty much do whatever we want. And, you know, obviously most days I'm home and I'm cooking or cleaning or doing something boring like cleaning out the refrigerator like I'm doing here today. But you can still find joy in all the little things of being a mother. Being a mom is definitely one of the hardest things that I've ever done, but it's also the most rewarding job and brings the most joy in my life. Sometimes the jobs that moms have to do are not that glorious or that fun, and one of those things that you might dread, but still something that has to be done. And today I am spending some time in my kitchen organizing, cleaning out the refrigerator and cleaning out the pantry. And I really do like doing this job. I don't get to it near as much as I should, and I definitely dread thinking about doing it, but once I get going, it's not as bad as I was expecting. But it really is nice to be able to see what I have in there, and then I can decide what things I need to use up and what things I need to buy. If you guys are familiar with my channel, you've heard me talk about meal planning before. And as a mom of 7 kids that cooks almost all of my meals from home, I mean, obviously we eat out some, we eat at my parents' house on Sundays. There's a lot of times when we're not home, but for the most part, I am cooking 3 meals a day in my home, and I am not one to full-blown meal plan. I know a lot of people love meal planning, but anytime that I have tried to meal plan, things always get switched up. And so, you know, we'll have leftovers when I wasn't expecting leftovers, or vice versa, or we will get invited to go somewhere, or I don't know, just the plan never goes exactly as I have it. So I like to have a kind of a looser meal plan. And my way is just to keep all of the essentials, staple items that I need to make a good, wholesome meal in my refrigerator, pantry, and then also having a freezer stocked full of meat. And then at the beginning of the week, bringing up some different cuts of meat, not necessarily knowing what I'm going to be making with it. Just having defrosted meat in the refrigerator and all of these staple things that I need in my pantry, I can pretty much always come up with a meal that can feed my family. Some meals are more exciting than others, obviously, but the main goal is just to get my family full and have a wholesome meal on the table 3 times a day. Going to take a quick break from this video to tell you about today's video sponsor, Everyday Dose. Now I am so excited to tell you about this because this has been a new favorite drink around here. Everyday Dose combines the classic coffee flavor you know and love with functional mushrooms, collagen protein, and several other amazing ingredients to help promote focus, energy, immunity, and gut health. It is 100% organic, fair trade coffee extract, and it is super easy to make and delicious. So if you guys don't want to get super fancy and make a maple mocha latte like I love to do, you can simply just put 1 scoop into a mug and add 4 to 7 ounces of water and froth it up and drink it that way. That's the way my husband likes it. I always like to get a little bit more fancy. And like I said, I wasn't sure of what it was going to taste like before, but I was pleasantly surprised. I even made my husband take a drink and I was like, honestly, if you got this from a coffee shop, would you even notice that it wasn't just a regular mocha latte? And we both agreed that we couldn't even tell because it was so delicious. Everyday Dose is gluten-free, it's paleo and keto friendly, it's made without any sugar, it's non-GMO, dairy-free, and soy-free. If you are ready to try Everyday Dose, you can tap the link down in my description box below and use my code OILYHOUSE to get up to 30% off your first order. And be sure to check out their coffee starter kit. It comes with a free gift every month. Mine came with the frother that you saw me use in today's video, and it's rechargeable, so I really like that, and it works really well to make my mocha lattes. The next thing on my list today is I am making a batch of homemade whipped body butter. I love making all of my own homemade skincare, hair care, cleaning supplies, all of that type of stuff. And this is something that I've been doing for over a decade. And I'll tell you that over time, it actually saves you so much money. And it's a really wonderful way to clean up your home and really live out a wholesome lifestyle. Oftentimes we can overthink the things that we're eating and be really concerned about dyes and seed oils and just all of the things, but we can forget about the things that we're putting onto our skin, the cleaners that we're using in our home. And this is something that I really strive to do. Like I said, I've been doing this for over 10 years now, and it gets easier with time, but definitely don't think that you have to go and start all at once and get rid of every single thing in your home and make it from scratch. Just doing one thing at a time can make it very manageable. I have recipes for this whipped body butter that I'm making, plus a ton more over on the blog, ouroilyhouse.com. So if this is something that you ever thought about or have interest in, you should definitely check out the different recipes. They're all very simple because obviously I have a lot going on being a mother of 7, and so I try to keep all of my recipes simple. I'll tell you, they're all ones that we love and have been using for a very long time. When I was cleaning out the refrigerator, I found a couple of zucchinis in there that were starting to go a little bad, and so I thought I would whip up a couple loaves of zucchini bread. I also have this recipe on our cooking blog, so I will link that for you guys down below. But one of my favorite ways to use zucchini during the summer months is definitely in zucchini bread. It is so delicious, so moist. My kids love it. I am making this for breakfast tomorrow morning. Anytime that I can plan ahead and have breakfast ready the night before makes the next morning so much more smooth. Right now, with having a new baby, I am trying to get as much sleep as I can, and sometimes that means that I am sleeping in the morning, so if I can have breakfast done so my husband and my other kids that are awake can start eating and I can keep sleeping, that's really helpful. after I melted all my ingredients for my whipped body butter, I put it in the refrigerator to let it set up. And I just whip it with a hand mixer and then put it in a storage container. This stuff is so light and fluffy. And the ingredients are gentle enough that I can even use this on my baby. This is the next morning and I am making a lemon glaze to top the zucchini bread with. This is not a must, obviously. Zucchini bread is delicious on its own, but I had all the things to make this, so I thought I would just whip this up and make it a little extra special this morning. I love getting fresh vegetables in the summertime as the garden is filling up with weeds here and lots of work should be done in here and it's not. I start to kind of think about, oh man, I can't wait till fall and winter when everything dies and I'm not needed out here, but I know I'll miss it. It's just so fun to be able to go outside, even with a small garden this year, being able to just get a few different items for our lunch today. So I'm going to be making a fried chicken salad for lunch and having fresh tomatoes and cucumbers from our own garden to put on there is just so fun, and the kids love it. They love picking things, and when we sit down to eat, they're always asking, was this from our garden? And they just love having something that we grew. And honestly, I think it's a good way to get your kids to eat some more vegetables. It makes it more exciting when they can see the whole process and helping with planting it and picking it and then seeing it on the table. For our salad today, I'm making some fried chicken to put on top. These are just some chicken tenders that I am putting in an egg wash and then some flour with some spices. And I have some lard heating up here in my Dutch oven, and I'm going to fry them in there. And this will be the protein with our meal. If I serve a salad without a bunch of toppings and some protein, some of my boys will definitely not be full. And so this is the way that I can get away with serving a big salad for lunch. I love cooking, and this is something that when I was younger I did not enjoy, and I never really would have seen myself being, considered a good cook or anything like that. But since spending a lot of time in the kitchen, I've gotten a lot more comfortable, been able to look at recipes and adjust it to work with the ingredients I have. And this is such a way that I find to be creative in my own home, is by making meals. It's one of my favorite things to do, is to make new recipes or to make fun meals that my family really enjoys. If you are a new cook, my biggest tip is just to keep going and to experiment in the kitchen and have fun with it. And there's going to be lots of recipes and meals along the way that aren't as good, but as you get more comfortable in the kitchen, you will be able to create some really beautiful, tasty meals that your family will love. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. I get out a new video every single week.